Why don't we follow through on our goals? Well, hi, this is day 3 of Better Brain Habits. This is Holly Stokes. There can be many underlying reasons, but one of the key things that people recognize is there's often a disconnect between our conscious goal-setting mind and what we are running automatically. Part of this can have to do with your unconscious mind. I like to think of the unconscious mind as like the image of an iceberg. And imagine in that image of the iceberg, there's the top part of the iceberg that you see above the water. And this is a much smaller portion, just like that phrase. It's just the tip of the iceberg. It's only about 10%. That's where we are conscious, planning, goal-setting, logical adults, right? But it's actually the 90% of the iceberg below the surface that we don't see. And it's that 90% that is driving that iceberg. That 90% is the unconscious mind. I like to call it the automatic mind because it's in charge of whatever is running automatically. So as we recognize we are setting the goal from our conscious brain, but our unconscious mind isn't getting the message about what we want it to do. So there's some ways that we can set up our goals to be a little bit more brain friendly. Now, the first way that we are tripping ourselves up is that we use language which confuses the unconscious mind and doesn't give it the right message. So often when people set a goal, they set a goal that has kind of a negative sound to it. So it might sound like, very common, I want to stop yelling at my kids. Or another one, I want to stop eating junk food. I don't want to be late to my appointments anymore. So now let's look at these phrases. I want to stop yelling at my kids. Notice, what is the picture that your mind does when you hear that phrase? I want to stop yelling at my kids. Most of us picture yelling at the kids, that our brain actually has to translate our words into mental pictures. Our unconscious mind, it's a little different. How it processes language. So it's kind of like if we tell it not to do something, it doesn't get the message of don't. Don't doesn't translate. For example, don't think of a yellow butterfly because as you do, it's going to turn blue and fly right out the door. And what does your mind do? It pictures the yellow butterfly turning blue and flying out the door. So this is one way that we kind of get tripped up with our goals. So looking at what you want to create for yourself this year, go through and look at, have you phrased it in a negative terms that your mind is not translating it? So another one that we picked as an example was, I want to stop eating junk food. This is great for foods. What does your mind actually picture? Cheetos, ice cream, soda pop. Your mind pictures the junk food that you don't want. And it's these mental pictures that speak directly to the unconscious mind and cue your unconscious mind. So if you want to get your unconscious mind on board with your goals, then step 1 is to use language that is brain friendly, that is friendly to your unconscious mind and gives it the right image. So let's go ahead and translate these goals. I want to stop yelling at my kids. You're picturing yelling at your kids, right? So what do we want the mind to be doing instead? What is the positive mental picture? I am being patient with my kids. I am taking the time to listen, to be present to what they are saying. I am checking my emotions and connecting with them from a space of clarity and calm. What does your mind picture now? Right? And the next one, I'm going to stop eating junk food. Let's translate it. What are good messages to give your mind? I am eating healthier foods. Or we're going to change this up a little bit. I am choosing healthier foods. What comes to mind? Healthier foods. I am choosing more fruits and vegetables. I am eating healthier and healthier. Little hypnotic language, healthier and healthier, tells the mind to generate even more. So notice how it feels differently too. I'm going to stop eating junk food versus I am choosing healthier foods. It feels softer. It feels less, it feels gentler to our systems too. And then another example, here's a good one too. Often people say things like, I'm going to get out of debt. But what is that phrase? It might sound like it's clear, you know what about no debt means, but how does it feel as you say it? It calls your attention to debt. You might even feel the heaviness of debt or the ugh of debt. So what's a better phrase? I am creating surplus income. I am adding to my savings. I am creating zero balance in charge cards. I am becoming more and more financially free, and I am becoming more and more financially savvy, where I am saving for the things that are important. I have plenty of money. You can see how we can continue going with that thread. So think of the goals that you may have created for yourself and notice what's the language that you've been talking to yourself about these things that you want to achieve or accomplish. Some of the key ways that people get tripped up on their goals, one, it's that it's not brain friendly. So your unconscious mind isn't on board. Another one, not making time for it. If you don't have it in your planner, if you don't know when you're going to work on this or when you're going to make the focus, then it becomes part of the land of someday. And also, there can be some sabotage. And that kind of feels like part of me wants to do this and part of me doesn't. And then we kind of feel this conflict between these sides of ourselves. Sabotage is a little bit bigger issue, but we can tap into that just by imagining holding out ahead of you. You have your goal on one side and the problem that you haven't been following through on the other side. And just notice, what's the feeling of each? The side that has the goal, what does it want? You might want to feel better in your body. You might want this. You might. On the side that has the problem, eating junk food. Let's go with the junk food resolution. So putting one hand holds the goal. I want to eat healthier. And the other hand is the problem. The part of me that's been craving junk food, right? So we look at what does the part of me that wants to eat healthier, what does it want? Well, better health. I want to feel better. Maybe I want to release weight and feel slimmer in my body. Maybe I want to boost my energy, my confidence, my well-being. Great. And now the problem hand that represents the problem, what does it want? Oh, it wants junk food is fun. Junk food is convenient. Like, pay attention to what this part of your mind is saying. How can you get the fun, the convenience in ways that are healthier, but still allow you to enjoy and celebrate food? And then you can recognize that you can get these parts on board together, working for you rather than against you. So, some key strategies to following through with your goals is to have them in front of you. Only work on one or two at a time. So I just say pick one for the week that you are going to make time for it. Pick your top priority that you're going to make time for this. Dial it into your planner. Know when you're going to do it, where you're going to give that time to focus on this. And how can you make it brain friendly? Giving the positive image to your unconscious automatic mind so that you can stay on track with this and think better, feel better, and be moving forward. Thank you for joining us for Better Brain Habits number 3, and we will see you tomorrow. I'm Holly Stokes with The Brain Trainer. We'll see you next time.